Welcome back to part 2 of my walkthrough to Silent Hill. When we left off, we helped Harry deal with the nightmares of Midwich Elementary School. Our next task is to head to Balkan Church, which is towards the east. If we were to continue all the way east, we'd find the road dead ends, so instead we can make our way north into this alley. Look for the garage on the east side with the bloody door. We can take the pathway right next to it and open the house using the K.Gordon key we picked up from the school. Inside the house, we'll find 2 boxes of handgun ammo, and we can make a save. Let's leave the house and head across 11th Street. North a little ways, we'll find a health drink near the dead end. Since the road here is out of commission, we'll need to head to the south. As we head east, we'll find another health drink on a bench here just before the alley. And there's a little more ammo on the east side of the alley as well. As we exit the alley, we're going to make a right turn to head east, though I want to mention that on next fear mode, the chainsaw can be found to the west. We're doing a standard playthrough here, so that's not something we can pick up.
Were you ringing that bell?
I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
What are you talking about?
I knew you'd come. You want the girl, right?
The girl? You're talking about Cheryl.
I see everything.
You know something? Tell me.
Stay back. Nothing is to be gained from floundering about at random. You must follow the path. The path of the hermit concealed by flowers.
What? What are you talking about?
Here, the flowers, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. These will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late.
Wait! Don't go yet!
So Harry had his first meeting with Dahlia. She gives him some rather cryptic information, some items we can pick up. That'll be the Floros and the drawbridge key, which can be found on the altar. There's also a health drink in here. And towards the church's exit, we can find a save point. Now we'll need to make our way to the hospital, which is towards the east. We can optionally make a pit stop inside this gas station. There's a save point in here if you'd like to use it, and on the other side of the car we can find some handgun bullets. During a Next Fear playthrough, a gas tank could also be found here, which could be used to power the chainsaw or the rock drill. As we leave the gas station, we can make a right, which is south, and find more ammunition in the alley. Alright, let's keep going towards Central Silent Hill. We can find a first aid kit and shotgun ammo on the stairs before the drawbridge. This room below the drawbridge controls is where the rock drill can be found. It can only be acquired in Next Fear mode, but I just want to show where it is since it's on the way. The task at hand is to head upstairs into the control room and lower the drawbridge. We'll find the map to Central Silent Hill here as well as a health drink. With the drawbridge down, we can continue into Central Silent Hill. Making our way across the bridge, we can find a health drink on the north side. Continuing back east, we'll find some ammo along the stairs here. Before we head to the church, we can make a pit stop in the police station. Inside the station, we can find some ammo in the main room. One of the other rooms is open as well, and we can find more ammunition inside. We'll also find some notes that clue us in towards an investigation of drug trafficking. It seems Silent Hill has had some sinister secrets for a while. Let's head south and make our way into the hospital. Now, Central Silent Hill introduces a new enemy, the Romper. Rompers can pounce and pin down Harry, which is pretty annoying. I will just be avoiding them for this playthrough. There's a save point we can use here. As we round the corner, we'll hear some gunshots.
Hold it! Stop! Don't shoot! Wait! I'm not here to fight. My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation.
Thank God, another human being.
Do you work here?
I'm Dr. Michael Kauffman. I work at this hospital.
So maybe you can tell me what's going on.
I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared. And it's snowing out, this time of year. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist.
Yeah. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7, short, black hair.
She's missing. I'm sorry. But with all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you?
She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter.
I see. I'm sorry. Well, I'd better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing.
So long. Good luck out there.
Now that Harry's had his first surreal interaction with Dr. Kauffman, the hospital's director, we can head into the reception area. Here we can pick up a first aid kit and find the hospital's map. Now let's head further into the hospital. In the medicine room, we can find a newspaper, and if we examine it, we'll see that an article has been clipped out. Let's continue by heading into the office on the east. We can pick up the hospital basement map here. Let's head into the next room to pick up the basement key. Alright, now let's get back to the hallway and then we'll enter the kitchen. Picking up this plastic bottle is the first step for one of the game's optional objectives. We can also grab a health drink here before returning to the hallway. Inside the director's office, we'll see that something has been smashed on the floor. We can use the plastic bottle we found to suction up some of this liquid. This will come into play later in the game. Now let's use the basement key to unlock the door and head downstairs. There are some creepers down here, the insect enemies that we've seen before. I'm just going to avoid those. We need to head into the generator room and flip on the power. With the power on, we can now use the hospital's elevators, so let's return back upstairs. Let's continue by exploring the second floor. Well, it seems we can't get through this door, so let's try the third floor. No luck on the third floor either. It seems we might be stuck, or are we? Now, floor 4 was not an option before, and only becomes available after trying floors 2 and 3. It looks like Harry may be in for another bad time. None of these doors will open, we just need to make our way forward to the stairs. We're going to exit on the third floor, and I'm going to do a partial exploration. My approach to the hospital is to head to the basement as soon as possible. That's where we can pick up the hammer, a melee weapon that will help us deal with the hospital staff. In the men's bathroom, we can find the first of 4 colored plates. In this storage room, we'll find handgun ammunition, a blood pack, and a first aid kit. This is our first dealing with the parasite nurses. I'll be dealing with them with a shotgun until we find that hammer. Before leaving the third floor, we can pick up the yellow plate of cat. Now let's take the elevator to the basement floor. We'll need to deal with a nurse as soon as we exit. And in the morgue, there will be 2 more nurses that try to catch us by surprise. Here we'll be able to pick up a health drink and an ampoule. Let's get back into the hallway. There's one more nurse to deal with. Now we can head into the generator room and pick up that hammer. We can't unlock all the basement doors just yet. We'll be back here later on. For now, let's take the elevator to the first floor. The first floor vending machine is operational, and we can examine it 3 times to pick up 3 health drinks. Inside the director's office, we'll find the red plate of Queen, as well as a save point. We'll get attacked by another parasite doctor as soon as we exit the door. What makes the hammer effective against the parasite medical staff is that it will stun them after a hit. This makes it easier to get in more hits to take them down without using ammo. We can optionally go into the kitchen for another health drink. We'll find some handgun ammunition in the southern office. Now we can take the stairs to the second floor. We can examine this plate on the wall for a list of names. We won't need this information quite yet, but we'll see it later on. We'll get jumped by a nurse as soon as we enter room 201. This is where we can find the lighter. Now in room 204, we can see the green plate on the wall, and it's being guarded by these tentacles. They will block us from reaching the plate, and we can see the tentacles are interested in the blood on the floor. We can use the blood pack we found on the 3rd floor to distract it. Now we'll enter the nurse center where we can make use of the plates we've been finding. On the wall is a note which will give us a hint as to what comes next. Each phrase is describing a certain color, and the order that they are listed in is important. Examining the door, we can see there are already 4 colored plates here, and each color matches one of the 4 phrases from the note, so we can place the 4 plates we found in the empty spaces, matching the ordering of the note. Now as we exit into the hallway, there's another nurse to deal with, and then we'll be able to head into the operating room. From here we can enter the adjoining room and pick up the basement storage room key. We'll need to enter the intensive care unit to pick up the disinfecting alcohol bottle. Before we leave the second floor, we can pick up a first aid kit from room 206. Now we can unlock the door leading to the elevator, and we'll take it back down to the basement. We need to check out what's inside that storeroom. In the storeroom, we can pick up some ammo, and we'll see there are marks on the floor next to this cabinet. We can push it over from one side, which reveals the doorway to the south end of the storage room. Here we'll find a hatch leading down that's blocked by vines. We can use both the alcohol and the lighter to burn off these vines. Now we'll head further down. There are several nurses to deal with here. Now there's no map for this area, but there's only a couple of rooms we can enter. In this first room, we can find the VHS tape. And in the last room, we'll find evidence that someone has been held here for some time.
What's this? Looks like someone's been here.
We'll need to pick up the examination room key before leaving. We now have everything we need to leave the hospital, but before we do, let's finish exploring the third floor. We'll find an out-of-place bird cage. There's nothing we can do with it right now, but like the plaque we saw on the wall, it'll come into play later on. We can optionally play the tape we found in the basement in this VCR. It doesn't make much sense right now, but we'll learn more later on. There's some shotgun ammo we can pick up on the bed before we leave the room. In room 304, we'll find a health drink and another plate on the wall that we can't do anything with just yet. Alright, we've done everything we can in the hospital. The examination room key is what lets us get further.
Finally, someone else who's okay.
Who are you?
My name's Lisa Garland. What's yours?
Harry Mason.
Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. It's awful.
So you don't know anything either. Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream.
Yeah, a living nightmare.
Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old?
A 7-year-old girl. What, she's your daughter?
Yes.
A 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement?
No? Why? Is there something down there?
You don't know? Don't you work here?
We're under strict orders never to enter the basement storeroom. So I really don't know. What did you say was down there?
Well, it's... Damn! My head.
What's wrong? Harry? Harry, let me help you. Harry?
Was I dreaming?
You were too late.
It's you.
Yes, Dahlia Gillespie.
Tell me everything you know. What's going on?
Darkness. The town is being devoured by darkness. Strength must overcome petty desire, childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come.
What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this.
Believe the evidence of your eyes. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town?
So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean?
It is the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed.
Hey, wait!
Dahlia clues us into another church in the town. We'll need to grab that antique shop key she left behind to get access to it. So now we need to head to the antique shop, which is in the northeast, just beyond the town center. There are a couple items we can pick up along the way. Heading east from the hospital, we'll find some ammo and a health drink in the alley. Heading back out of the alley on the north side of the street, we'll find another health drink on a table. We've grabbed everything we can from this area, so let's head to that antique shop, which is a straight line north. There's a save point in here we can use, as well as another cabinet that's been used to block yet another secret passageway.
What's this?
Harry!
Cybil?
I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts.
What are you doing here? I thought you left town.
I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and radios are still out too.
What about my daughter? Did you see her?
I did see a girl.
Was it Cheryl?
I only caught a glimpse of her through the fog. I went after her, but she vanished. I don't know about your daughter, but...
And you just let her go? Where was it?
On Bachman Road. She was heading towards the lake. Now don't get excited. It wasn't like she ran off exactly. There was no place for her to go. The road has been obliterated.
What? So then Cheryl...
It was like she was walking on thin air. What about you? Anything?
Yeah, I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her?
Dahlia Gillespie. No. And?
She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means?
Darkness devouring the town? Must be on drugs. They sell them to the tourists. The force still can't figure out who's behind it. None of our leads have panned out, and the investigation is stalled.
What could drug trafficking have to do with all this?
I really don't know. But maybe that's the darkness she was talking about. That's all I can think of. What's this?
Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there.
Let's have a look.
Wait. We don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first.
I'm a cop. I should go.
No, I'm going.
All right. I'll cover you from here. Be careful. If anything looks fishy, get back here on the double.
Okay. Cybil,
Yeah?
do you know anything about... well, like some other world? It's like some kind of bad dream.
What are you talking about?
I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur, like some kind of hallucination, you know?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry.
Oh. I was just wondering. Never mind.
Harry, you're tired.
Yeah, maybe.
On the other end of this hallway, we'll find someone's idea of a cool place to hang out.
this? Some kind of altar. Never seen anything like this before. Maybe this is the other church.
We can find another melee weapon, the axe, on the wall here. And while there's nothing else to be done in this room, in Silent Hill the environment tells the story on its own. You can look around a little, but the next thing to do is leave the way we came in.
What the?
Harry? Are you okay? Harry? Harry?
Where am I?
Harry.
Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital?
You were having a bad dream.
Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about.
Well, if you're sure. Lisa, do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie?
Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since.
Well, she says the town is being devoured by the darkness. Do you have any idea what she's talking about?
The town devoured by the darkness. Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion. Weird occult stuff, black magic, that kind of thing. As young people moved away, the people figured they'd been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Before the resort, there really wasn't anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out, you gotta blame it on something. Then a lot of new people came in and everybody clammed up about it.
A cult?
Last time I heard anything about it was, years ago. When several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'll shut up.
Was that another dream? Did I pass out again?
Many things don't go as intended in Silent Hill, and Harry finds himself in the nightmare again. Cybil thinks she saw Cheryl heading towards the lake, so that's Harry's next destination. Not quite knowing how to get there, Harry thinks Lisa may be able to point him in the right direction. We'll need to make our way back to the hospital, but if we head south, we'll find the road is blocked, so we need to make our way through the town center. The route through the town center is linear, but we can make a quick stop in the jewelry shop on the second floor for some items and a save point.
Where are you?
Cheryl!
Now we're ready to continue on. We'll see something on the corpse just ahead. Whatever was on that corpse fell down with us, and we'll need to deal with it. A new firearm weapon, the rifle, can be found here. You can pick it up either during or after the battle. The tactic I use for this battle is to hang out on the grate in the center. The caterpillar will crawl in and out of the ground, and you can bait it into crawling over the grate, which gives you more time to damage it. When it crawls out of the ground, it will spit something gross at Harry. Make sure you take a couple steps to avoid it before counterattacking. When the caterpillar curls into a ball like this, the battle is over. Wait for it to leave and then we'll be able to proceed east. So now we'll need to head west to reach the hospital. First, we'll be able to make a pit stop in the police station. What will make our jog more difficult are the nightmare versions of the air screamers and groaners that get in our way. The flying enemies are night flooders. They're more aggressive than the air screamers we've seen before. The dogs are wormheads, again more aggressive versions of those we've seen in the fog world. We can pick up some more ammo from the police station as well as make a save. Alright, now we can focus on getting back to the hospital. We will find Lisa in the next room.
glad you're okay.
Thank God you came back. I was scared to be here all alone.
I'm here now. I was worried too. I'm real happy to see you. Lisa, can you tell me how to get to the lake?
The lake? You take Bachman Road.
The road's blocked.
Well, that's the only way out there.
Are you sure? There's gotta be another way.
Wait! I just remembered something!
What?
There's a waterworks over by my old elementary school. It's been abandoned for years. There's an underground tunnel out there used for inspections or something. I remember hearing it runs all the way to the lake.
Really? You think I can get to the lake from there?
I've never been down in there myself, so I'm not positive. Besides, it's all fenced off to keep people out.
If there's a chance, I've got to try.
Harry, don't go! I don't want to be alone. It's so scary, I can't stand it.
How about coming with me? This may not be the safest place in the world either. I can't promise you anything, but I'll do my best to protect you.
No, somehow I feel I'm not supposed to leave this place. Oh, Harry, I'm so scared and cold.
Look, just wait here a little longer. I'll be back as soon as I find my daughter.
Harry?
So Lisa's told Harry he can take the sewers to reach the resort area of town. There will be one more obstacle to deal with before we can do that, however. So that caterpillar we met in the town center now wants his revenge. I prefer to deal with this fight on the very top of the roof, which lets me put the water tower between the Moth and Harry. It also allows for a better perspective of the fight. My approach to this fight is to take a shot, then move out of the way to avoid the Moth's next attack. It will either try to hit Harry with its stinger or a noxious projectile. The key to this fight is a little patience. Be sure to space out your shots so you can avoid the Moth's attacks. With the Moth out of the way, we can continue to Silent Hill's resort area and discover more of the town's sinister secrets. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you'll join me for the third and final part, where Harry's journey will reach its conclusion.